What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com, here with Impact's Fallah Bahh. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I already got more out of you than I thought I would.
Yeah, bah.
I already got, yes, we're winning here. We were talking off the air about how much AXS has been promoting Impact since that move over there. Now, I mean, I know that Impact's been on several channels. Looks like AXS is for the long haul. You've seen various networks that they've been on. How does this one differ in your mind?
I've never seen the promotion that AXS has given out of all the other, you know what I mean, networks. I personally, on my own, I've noticed since we jumped to AXS, my social media has gotten up, and we're getting a lot more exposure as the episodes gone by, you know?
Yeah. So we had talked a little bit off the air about Danny Cage at the Monster Factory too. Some of your beginnings, and we've seen a lot of guys emerge from that area. I know you've worked a little bit here and there around the Monster Factory. Who would you say, because Danny is one of those guys that kind of influences a lot of people, who has influenced you the most in your career? Because I know it's not Danny Cage.
No, well, okay, so for me, it's like this is a marathon, not a sprint. You know what I'm saying? I've been wrestling for like 13 years. So like all the people I've been interacting with, like you try to get as much little information from them as possible and try to make it your own. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things I've learned with my tenure at Monster Factory, just professionalism and just like even little things and just being there on time and just showing how much, you know, dedication you want. You know what I mean? Just putting the work in. You know what I mean? People like him, people like Pat Buck that from WrestlePro, like he gave me the whole idea to do the whole Yokozuna gimmick. So like there's a lot of people, especially in that Jersey area, that not only gave me my start, they gave me a lot of knowledge that I use today. You know?
You mentioned the Yokozuna comparisons. When you get that, is that an honor for you, or is that something at this point where you're like, man, that comparison again?
So coming into wrestling, you are a student. You know what I mean? So you study the greats before you. You know what I mean? Being my size and seeing the way he moved and the little things in between, like, inspired me a lot. So I was studying his stuff prior. I just never had the courage enough until two or three people was like, yo, you look like him. Why not be that gimmick? You know what I mean? It took me a minute for me to actually decide to do it, you know?
Did you hear the rumors that the Saudis wanted Yokozuna for that WWE show? Were you like, oh, come on now, I'll do it?
I was in it with Impact, so like, you know what I mean? Like I'm on my own.
Go to Nordholm and be like, hey buddy, listen.
I got a couple of tweets from that, when that rumor was, or when people were talking about it. Like, a lot of people tagged me, you know what I mean? But, my loyalty is to Impact, you know?
And you did a lot of comedic work, too, with KM. I love that stuff. That was just really purely, such entertaining stuff. How did you feel branching out into stuff like that? I mean, I'm sure at some point when you had worked 13 years, you'd done some comedy stuff in the past.
Oh, yeah. No, of course. So but, me and him, my home fed outside of Impact, my home indie fed was WrestlePro.
Yeah.
So him, Pat Buck, they all they all work together and promote WrestlePro. So I'm legit his friend. So all the stuff, all the antics that we've done in those segments, they're not any different from how we really act in the locker room or in legit real life. So it's literally the most fun I've had wrestling, doing TV and all that stuff, and it's part of it is real because it's literally me and him goofing off and doing stuff that we would normally do outside of the cameras. You know what I mean?
Pat Buck actually got picked up by WWE.
Yes.
Would it surprise you at all to see KM be like, yeah, you know what, I'm back in Impact, maybe as an agent, maybe doing this?
I'm not surprised with KM. Everything that I just,
Dude is boys with Colby Covington. I'm not surprised by anything he does either. Fallah Bahh, I want to thank you so much. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media.
At Twitter, I'm at Fallah1, and Instagram, FallahGram1, and Facebook, Fallah Bahh.
Make sure you guys check out Impact Wrestling every Tuesday on AXS. Until next time, we're out.